All right. Our last day at Wonderfest is going to be Blender modeling class. So you guys get to ask any question you want while we do some modeling stuff. So let me just share with you quickly who I am. Um, as you know, I'm Stephen Burns, and my website, I'm an author, an artist, also an instructor. I teach at three educational institutions, uh, Golden West College, Coastline College in Orange County, and also over at Studio Arts. And I'll share that with you. So Studio Arts, and let's see, I should have it up here in front of me. There we go. So Studio Arts is a educational institution where I'm training seasoned professionals in the industry. So most of my artists most of the people I work with are people who are Maya artists who are now coming to learn Blender. So Blender's starting to cut into the whole Maya, loyalty. So I teach the Blender 101 class, all right, which is going to be similar to the one that I'm going to give you guys an offer for my personal 5-week Blender class. And it's a Blender for 3D modeling, because that's specifically what you guys are going to be interested in. I also do a 201 class, which is a little bit more advanced, a Blender class. And then I do a grease pencil. Anybody familiar with grease pencil in Blender? Probably nobody. Storyboard artists will use that. And I also do the new character rigging and animation class. So this is something we just offered. So yeah.
Can you give me like a 30-second description? What is grease pencil?
Okay, so grease pencil is basically it's designed for drawing and painting in Blender to create storyboards outline. So if you're a storyboard artist, grease pencil is going to be your go-to. Um, Blender is powerful. Blender is popular not because it's free. It's popular because it's literally, come on, join us. You guess he's shy. Don't worry, resistance is futile. So it's popular because it's literally revolutionized the 3D industry. So we're going to kind of talk about that as we work together. So I'm going to just share my website real quick. I always like to do that. The My books and DVDs. These are the books I've written. All have something to do. This is back in the day when I was using Lightwave. I don't know if anybody's a Lightwave, well, used to be a Lightwave artist here, but this has to do with Photoshop as well as 3D integration. Every chapter from beginning to end is creating this, a very cool type of illustration. At this time, I was working in Lightwave, built that in Lightwave, brought it into Photoshop, and created the illustration. Today, we're going to be using Blender. What programs are you guys working in? Just kind of shout it out. In terms of Blender. Another one? What was that? AutoCAD, yes. Fusion.
I do SolidWorks.
Yeah, SolidWorks also. Okay. All right. No Maya people, no Modo people. Okay. All right. That's cool. All right. So this is what I'm thinking of doing. All right. Let's go over to. I'll let you guys kind of decide what you might like to do. So let's go over the bridge. Let's take a look at some reference images here. When you're modeling, when you're learning how to model and create in a 3D program, have a reference. Always have a reference as much as possible. That's really going to help. Okay? And I thought about what could we do? We could do weapons, right? We can do something like weapons in Blender. We've got several different types of weapons we can kind of play around with. We can do interiors in Blender, like a little sci-fi interior concept. Okay, that might be kind of interesting to do. Or we can do lightsabers. All right, kind of play around with some of those. So everything's all about design. All right, and we're going to break it down to what we're doing, why we're doing, And usually, if a concept artist will give me something like a drawing like this. In fact, afterwards, what I'll do is I'll show you some of the custom models that I'm working on. Another one that we could do was we can do a shuttlecraft. All right. And I've broken these down to a front, side, and top view. I can also always share how to set those up in Blender. Okay. So what do you think? What do you guys want to do? You want to do the shuttlecraft? Okay. All right, let's do the shuttlecraft. All right, now let's get in the Blender. Now take note, right down here at the bottom, I got that front, I've got the sides, top view. That's kind of cool. Maybe I'll do a little bit of modification of this, but we're gonna play with this. All right, let's get in the Blender. And let's go play. All right. I want a reference. Always work with your references. So we need to bring these references in. So this is going to be a front view. We're looking down the y-axis. X-axis going right to left. Z-axis going up and down. In most 3D programs, the Z-axis goes in and out. But here, Blender's trying to match 3D printing. CNC technology. So your Z-axis is going up and down. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about our references here. We're going to talk about the tools we're going to use to create what we're going to create and ask questions at any time.
What button are you holding with your left hand?
With my left hand?
Yeah.
I'm nothing.
When you were just pressing a button while you were drawing.
While I was drawing? No, okay. So that's my navigation.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm holding the Alt key. Alt key. Alt and Shift to pan. Alt and Control to zoom in and out. And that's going to be your constant. That'll be that. Those will be your navigational techniques. All right. We also have orthographic views, right? The number 1 key on the numeric side. Now, it's important with Blender that you have a full keyboard. Not the truncated ones. Need a full keyboard. Blender is a shortcut monster. Okay, come on in, join us. Got plenty of seats up here in front. All right, right up here in front. Follow me. Follow my voice right there. Grab a seat. Welcome. And I'm going to be spouting these shortcuts off, and you're going to understand them. So let's go get our images. Now, first of all, the number 1 key on the numeric side of your keypad is your orthographic 2-dimensional front view. Odd numbers. Number 3 is your side view. And number 7 is your top view. All right. If we want to jump back into perspective mode, hold your Alt key, left click and drag, and it automatically jumps right back into perspective. So that's Blender. It's that easy. All right, let's go in and get our images. Let's do the front first. So hit the number 1 key on the keyboard here, and let's go over to Bridge, and let's go get my references here. So if I scroll down to the bottom, there's my shuttlecraft, and I'm going to click and drag it like this, and there it is. It's that easy. Just drop the image right in there. We're going to reorganize this later. So let's go ahead and bring on the others. We need a side view, which is right here. Okay. So I'm going to go back into Blender, hit the 3 key for the side view. Okay. Now we're in side view. Let's go back to our reference photos and go grab the side view and go place it in like that. All right. So we need a top view. I think the top view is going to help. So what's the shortcut for the top view? 7. Excellent. There's the top view. Let's go get it. Oh, rats. Opening up Photoshop on me, which drives me nuts. Okay. So now let's go back and get that top view right there. and drag it on in. There it is. Okay, so I'm going to kind of minimize this on out. Let's go to my view, and there are all of my references. So I'm going to line these up. So grab this one here. You notice that I cut them in Photoshop so they're real close to one another, so I can line them up. So under the item tab is your navigational locations. So there's my location, right? So if I just click and drag all of these here and hit 0 to zero it out, boom, it just pops it right there. If I grab this one and do the same thing, click and drag 0 to zero that out, hit 0, click and drag. All right, it's being difficult on me today. That's weird. There we go. 0. Do the same thing for this one. Click and drag over the X, Y, and Z axis. And 0. There we go. Okay, so I need to modify this a little bit because this one's much too big. The other two look like they're right on. The other two are right on. All right. This one's not right on, so we're going to go right to the top, select it, hit the S key for scale, and we're going to scale it down to the matches like that. That's good enough. Yeah, that's it. It's right on. All right, now we're going to organize this even further. Let's push these. We're gonna create like a little box. I'm going to select this one, move it on back like this. Okay. I will grab the top view, and I suppose what I could do is just move it down. I'll kind of create a little box area to fit this in. This is the front view, so I'm going to select it and just push it straight like so. Okay, so we're going to build the shuttlecraft within this space here. Now from here, these things I like to bring down the opacity of the images so they don't get in the way too much. If it's a problem, I will, but I'm not going to worry about it right now. If I'm going to give you an example, I'm going to select the image right down here on your right hand side. These are your properties panels. You got a vertical left side menu and a vertical right side menu. On the right side, the second from the bottom is the picture of a mountain and the sun. That's your universal image button there. So if we click on that and go to the opacity right here, dead center, highlight it, I can reduce the opacity down, see, on that image a little bit. So that if I need to see through it, I can. So I might take it down to like 0.5, right? Just to be safe. I'm going to select both of these together. And opacity, I should be able to do them both together. Let me drop it down, and I think that worked. Okay, that did not work on the bottom one. I'm going to grab that, put 0.5. Cool, got it. Now, let's go play. We're ready to rock and roll. So, what primitive shape do you think I'm going to start using? Just a block, right? No detail, no detail, right? We want to work with simple shapes. So, let's go ahead. Shift A is a shortcut for accessing all of your 3D applications or attributes. Your mesh is where all of your primitives live. So mesh and go to the top and grab the cube just like this. Now we can't see through the cube to see the images until we go to what's called X-ray mode, and I'm going to give you the shortcut for that. X-ray mode is Alt-Z. There. Now we can see through it. If I want to get out of X-ray mode, it's Alt-Z again. It's your toggle. All right, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to go to orthographic view. We're going to use that a lot. The number 3 key is a side view. I'm going to start there. The next thing we'll do, I'm going to go to edit mode. because right now I'm in the effects, which is basically your object mode. Tab key, hold it down. I'm in object mode right now. If I go to the right, I'm going to go to edit mode. Okay, now I'm going to select the top faces by dragging on the top like so, and I'm going to bring this down to match my roof. Go to the bottom and bring this up and kind of match the bottom of the shuttlecraft. Pull this one back, something like this, and I think from here, I may want to accomplish this in a couple of ways, but I'm going to bring this to here like so. Okay, let's go to the top view, 7 key on the keyboard. All right, so I'm going to take both of these sides, this side and that side, and I'm going to go to the scale tool right here so that I can scale that in or out. So I'm going to bring it down right about there. I think that works. Okay, so we got a good start. All right, so we need to basically the front portion of the ship now. I'm going to go to the 3 key on the keyboard. Now I want to start designing this area of the ship. So I'm going to select that front face, E key for extrude to here. Okay. Now watch. I'm targeting the entire face, but I can also target points or edges, right? The 1 key on the keyboard right above your letters is your point editing mode. The number 2 key is your edge editing mode. The number 3 key is your face editing mode. So I want the edges. So I'm going to hit the number 2 key on the keyboard and just select that top edge like so. Then I'm going to hit the 3 key to go to orthographic view. Come over to the left-hand side, grab my move tool, and just push it down like this, see? Now we're going to do the same thing here, but we're going to do something different. I'm going to grab that edge, and I rotate it. I've got that edge selected, and I'm going to place it right about there. You'll see why in a moment. Actually, no, maybe we'll do this. We're gonna keep this here. That will be wiser. What we're going to do is we're going to add one more slice right down the middle. Oh, maybe, yeah, actually I don't. Let me do this first. Let me grab this slice here, go back to the side view, and let's bring that up. Let's kind of play around with this. Let's see if we can get something like this. Maybe I think that will work better. All right, now Control R is a shortcut for adding slices. Now, if I move this around, you'll notice that it's slicing all of this connected loop polys. Now, this is a good thing because now I can grab that little bottom one right here, go back to my side view, and I can push this out to do something like this. Okay, we're going to leave it there for now. No detail. We're not interested in a lot of detail at this point. All right. Now, I'm going to look at the front view of the ship here. And it almost looks like it bows out a little bit, right? So if I go to my edge view and select this edge here like so, and I'm going to come over to the scale, let's push it almost out. Like, let me see what's actually happening. Now I wanted to use that as a quick example, but it looks like it comes out slightly at an angle. So what we need to do is to do what? Add another little edge in here. All right, so Control R for slice. Wherever I place my cursor next to an edge, it'll automatically set directly center of that edge, and it'll be perpendicular. So I'm gonna go right down here to here and just click and left click again. All right, so now what I want to do is I want to honor my photograph. I'm going to go to the side view. I want to make sure that this line is going to match my line right down here in the bottom. So what I will do is this. I'm going to grab, welcome. I'm going to grab just those two lines like so. All right, you're going to see why I did it in just a moment. I'm going to grab one more. Okay. If I hit double G on the keyboard, I can slide that up and down without affecting the shape. Is that making sense? So if I do it again, I'm going to go kind of this view here. Double G, I can slide that anywhere and it won't affect the shape at all. That's a nice feature in Blender. So I'm going to kind of level it off. Let's go back to the side view. Level it off. Now what I want to do is I want to select the entire loop. Everything like so, right? Because I want to flatten it out. I want to honor my reference photo back there. So what I will do is this. A couple ways to handle it. I think the fastest way to handle it is this way. I'm going to tell it to scale and flatten it out on the Z-axis. The way you do it is S key for the scale, right? I want to restrict it to the Z-axis, hit Z, see? And then hit 0 for flattening everything out. Boom, see? Done. So now I want to move that down a little bit to kind of match my reference photo. So double G, push it down, get as close as I can. Right about there, that's what we'll do. I'm going to inspect what I did here, because I can see this top edge here was being stubborn. Right about there. I'm going to go to the side view and double G and pull it down. Sometimes they get close to one another and they're a little stubborn, but basically that is an independent loop. All right, so now let's go play. Double click that entire edge. If it's a connected loop, double clicking on one of those edges it's going to select everything. Now I should be able to go to what? The front view and pull this out. Oops, let's see what's happening here. I'm going to go right up here, active element. I want to go to the median point. There we go. And I can push it. See what's happening there? So now we're starting to match the model. All right, now we can go play. All right, so next thing I'm going to do, let's do the wings coming off the side here. And if we take a look at our photograph, it looks to me that I can probably do this separately. And this is where I'm going to start splitting this up in half, because I only want to do half the model to save time. Time is money, right? So now I'm thinking, okay, let's be smart about this. So what I'm going to do is this. Let's get out of X-ray mode so you can see what's happening here. I'm gonna hit Control R, left click, click again. That adds a slice right down the middle. And if I want everything selected on one side, I'm gonna hit Alt or Option Z. Now, what do I want to delete one whole side. What mode am I going to be in? I'm going to be in points, edges, or polys.
Edges.
No,
Points, smooth points.
I don't know.
technically, yeah, but faces would probably be better.
Faces.
Yeah, and I'll show you why. If we go to the top view, let's hit the 7 key. I can just select this and let me go to hit the 3 key for face editing. Select this whole side, and there you go. See? All those faces are selected, and what I'm going to do is hit X key for delete. Now I'm going to go delete the faces. It's giving me a choice. What do you want to do? Vertices, edges, or faces? I want the faces. Boom. It's gone. Now time is money. So what we're going to do is this. We're going to go back into object mode. Right? There's what I've done. Now I'm going to go to a modifier in Blender. Go to the blue wrench there, add a modifier, and under generate, we're going to add a mirror modifier. And if I click it, boom, see? What was that?
That's easier than what I've been doing.
Yeah. There it is. It's a come join us. There's plenty of seats up here front. Right up front there. All right, so it's pulling them together. Now, you'll probably notice it's using the x-axis, but my orientation of my x-axis is probably a little bit off, so I'm going to modify that. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back in here into edit mode real quick. We will go to edge selection mode, double-click that edge to make sure that I'm going to go to X-ray, make sure that entire edge is selected. And I want to make sure that this is completely flat. On what axis do I want to flatten this out on?
Why?
Why? Why is going this way? Flatten it on the...
Flatten on the Z or?
No, it's flattened on the x-axis.
That's right. Fact on the x-axis. That's right. I want to flatten. I want to make sure it's flattened out. So S key for scale, X on the keyboard for the axis to restrict it to, and then 0. You see it change a little bit? Everybody saw it? Now that's absolutely completely flattened. That was why there was a little bit of a gap down the center of the ship. All right. The last thing I'm going to do is this. Actually, that should be fine. That should be fine. Let's go into object mode. And my orientation is slightly off. I'm going to show you why. I'm going to do this real fast. In edit mode, I want to make sure that the orientation is based on our outline. To do so, that 3D cursor there, it's just a placeholder. It's there to help us align things. So I'm going to hit the Shift S and say cursor, 3D cursor to selected object. Boom, there it is. It's at the selected object. Once that's done, this is a little bit of a Blender trick for aligning things up. Once that's done, I'm going to go back to object mode, and I'm going to tell the orientation of this object to match the 3D cursor. Right click, set origin to 3D cursor. Click it, boom, see? Completely lined up. There's no gap in there. Does that make sense? So in the beginning class that I teach, you're going to learn all about orientations, 3D cursors, how to use them professionally, and you're going to be fluid with it. There's a lot of flexibility. So now if I turn the X-ray off, there's my ship. Now all I need to do is work on half the ship. Right, now I can do my work. So let's go play with this. We've got the sides here. I might do the fins separately. So I want to honor the back side as well. Let me go to the X-ray view. Let's go to the side view because the back side looks like it's bowing out a little bit. So basically, I guess I just have to come right over here to edit view, grab that edge there, right? And just pull it out like this. Okay, so that's better. All right, so could we, we could actually model these fins directly off the body. Watch. Double click the edge. I'm going to show you another trick. We got a little bit of a problem here that I didn't see, but I can fix that very quickly. And this is going to be and I'm glad it happened, because this is going to be an instance where if I hit the 1 key, I can go to point editing mode now. And that's just an issue of 1 point. So I can drag around that 1 point and just push it back in like this. There you go. It's fixed. So sometimes those little things happen, and you can go in there and fix that. So I'm going to get in close and say push it a little more, and just to line it up. There we go. That worked. Now watch. I have that one line. We'll go back to edge editing mode. Double click that edge. Now I want some thickness there to actually create this wing. So I'm going to use Control B for bevel. I'm going to bevel that edge. So let me get out an X-ray so you can see this better. N key is the numerics for these panels as a shortcut. I want more real estate, so I want them to go away. Now I'm going to get in close. Control B and pull it out like this. See? I've just added additional geometry there that I can play with now. So now left click, that commits my changes. And that might be a little bit, too thick. And I can always undo it by hitting Control B again. And let's pull it out right about, I'm going to hold the Shift key, which gives you minute control. There we go. I want it more like that. There we go. That looks good. So now from here, I can play with this. So I'm looking at this, this design, and this design is such that there's a little bit of a wing all the way around this ship. So now I'm going to show you a new little shortcut here. I'm going to minimize that there, and we're going to use a shortcut called extrude. Now watch this. Alt E gives you additional options for extrude. Normally extrude is the E key, but if you hit Alt E, it gives you additional options. We want to extrude along the normals, which means extrude this out like this. See? And I only want it like there. So now if I inspect this all the way around, look what I did. There's the beginning of my wing. Right? So now you're using your imagination. I know what you're saying. This is badass, right? All right. So now let's look at a reference. Let's go to Alt Z, the X-ray mode. Go to top view. All right. There's my wing there. Let's use the reference. So we need to model so that this wing comes out. All right. That means I need a little more geometry. So that means maybe I can add another loop right across here. So watch. Control R. There's my loop. Left click and drag it right about to there. Okay. We're going to rotate it around, and what you see happening here is that the angle of that edge is flowing with the flow of the ship. Right? You look at the flow of the ship. Look at how I designed it originally between the front end. It's flowing with it. What if you don't want it to flow with it? You want it to go straight up and down, so it's a little bit more control.
You reference it to the Z.
That's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to scale it to references to not the Z, but to what axis? The Y.
Yeah.
That's right, the Y. So again, S for scale. Y for the axis, 0, boom, that easy. And then enter to commit the changes. Isn't that cool? So I'm thinking through this. I'm going to go back to my side view, number 3 key on the keyboard. That looks good. Top view. That looks good. All right. So now we need to pull the wing out of here somehow. All right. Let's go ahead and pull the wing. Let's go get out of X-ray mode and let's go grab that face. Hit the 3 key on the keyboard and select that face right there. There's my wing. All right. What's the shortcut for extrude? Excellent. E. Boom. No details. Simple shapes. Details can come to the very end. So we're already starting to kind of map this shape out here. Go to the top view. Got to go back to X-ray so I can see through it. Go back to the top view. Match your wing, right? Follow your photograph, okay? So push it back to here. See? Grab. Now we go grab this edge here. Now I'm in face editing mode right now, and I don't want to be. I want to be in edge editing mode, so I can grab this edge here and push it like this. It's close to it. So if it's not perfect, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to double click this. Watch. Go to my edge, double click that, and I should be able to select that entire loop. Let me go around. If I select that and then come across, select that, I don't want that one selected or these selected there. Actually do. I want that one. Okay, see that? And I also,
Some others in the front too.
right, like this one here.
No, it looks like it's selected ones at the very front of the shuttle.
I shouldn't have. So control, that deletes. How does that look? All right, now go to the top view, 7 key, double G, it didn't like that. It's being stubborn. Let's kind of pull it like this to there. I think that works. It's a little bit off, but I can fix that easily. That's no problem. Basically what I'll do is I'll deselect this one over here. In fact, let me see what I probably want to do. I'm going to deselect these here too. Okay, now just move it like this. There. How's that look? Yeah, that looks good. So I know you modelers are accurate about what you do. You want to be perfect. All right, there we go. So we got the wing mostly done. Let me go to the top view real quick just to inspect it. This wing, that little corner right over here, wants to come like this. And my back, you know what? The photographs may not be accurate. So it's accurate to my side view, but the top view is probably it's a little bit truncated. So I'm going to leave it there. I'll just keep in mind we'll just leave that there. All right, now let's bring down the wing. Okay, so we got the side, we got the little wing that comes down and connects to the warp nacelle. Then we're going to do the warp nacelle next. Okay, so now, so I should be able to do the same thing to this wing, right? So if I go to my top view, move it on over, Control R for slicing, come join us. We've got seats right up here in front, or right in the middle there. There's one right there in the middle. So watch this, guys. There's my slice for it going downwards. So I'm going to click once and click again to commit the changes. Rotate it around, and I got to find out exactly where that might be. I think that's about right, but let me just double check it. Hit the 7 key.
You have the front. There.
What was that?
Front view shows it really well.
That's to go to front view. Yeah, so you know what? The front view shows this coming out more, doesn't it? Yeah, so the photos are not completely accurate. So let's go with the front view. Let's go to the front view. Let's go take this. Obviously we gotta I'm gonna do it this way. I'm gonna grab everything. Matter of fact, here's something I want to do. This will be good. Let's get rid of this edge because it's getting in my way, right? If you want to get rid of the edge, but you want to preserve. So if I hit the X key and say delete the edge, it deletes the faces, right? If I undo and say X key, not delete the edge, but dissolve the edge. Boom. It maintains your faces. So now I can do something like go to my face and select it, front face, go to my front view, and see I can keep that linear shape there. There we go. It should have been coming straight out and bring it out to here. There, that makes things a lot easier. Now, taking a look at it, looks good. All right, go back to the front view. Okay, Control R, put it there. Dead center as much as I can. Take a look at it, looks good. All right, here we go. We're going to do it again. Front view. We're going to use the bevel command. Now, even from the front view here, I can still modify this. I'm noticing that the base of the ship is a little bit too short, so I can modify that right now. So I'm going to go grab all these like this, and let's see if I can just pull that down. There we go. That fixed it. Because you want it to be perfect. I'm going to push this up a little bit more. There we go. That's be in the ballpark. In fact, all of this, right, if we're going to be anal about it, right, could all come down a little bit, right? We won't be that anal about it. Welcome. So you see where we're going so far? All right, so we got that slice down the middle. Double click that slice, go to that front view, right? To help us. Now, what do we need? We need something to extrude this shape, right? What do we do?
You can put another slice down in a bevel.
That's right. Using what? Bevel?
Like I said, you can put another slice down there.
Right?
Or you could bevel it.
That's what beveling is, adding another slice. And the reason bevel is handy is because if it's dead center, bevel is going to span out equally on both sides, so it becomes easier. So if I hit Control B for bevel, I can pull it out and see, boom, done. This makes my life easier. It's fast. Time is money. Now we go rotate it up, go to face editing, deselect everything but this here. Now what am I going to do with this down here?
Pull it out.
Excellent. I'm going to extrude it out. Go to the face, simple shapes. E key for extrude is coming at an angle, but that's okay. I'll bring it to there, and then just take this and move it on over like this. And you can 3D print that. You can 3D print this. That's why we're doing this, right? Okay, so let's go take a look at it. Here it is. We got to go to side view now and stay honest with this. So Alt-Z, go back to X-ray view, 3 key here. Yep, so we're a little bit off, but that's okay. We knew that from the very beginning. Go to my scale and scale it in like that. There we go. I'm going to just do the best I can. Something like that. Okay. All right, now keep in mind, now check this out. Keep in mind that this is all being mirrored with a modifier, so the other side is equal. You only do one side, the other side automatically happens. All right, time is money. All right, so let's go and add in the warp nacelles. All right, 3D cursor is nothing more and nothing less than a placeholder. It doesn't do anything in Blender. You can only have one 3D cursor and only one, that's it. So I can tell that 3D cursor to be placed where this selected object is. So whenever anything is selected in Blender, is automatically going to be dead center. So I want to put that 3D cursor there. Why? Because I want to bring my warp nacelle there. And what primitive am I going to use for a warp nacelle? A cylinder. So I want my cylinder to go there. So Shift S is a shortcut for your menu for your 3D cursors. Down at the very bottom, cursor to selected. Boom, there it is. See it? Now that 3D cursor is there, it'll bring in my cylinder there. I want the cylinder as a separate 3D object. Now take note, all of my 3D objects are listed right here. The cube, I'm gonna rename that because that is actually, let me go to my object mode, okay? And with the body selected, I'm gonna call that one body, right? These photographs are the reference folders. I'm gonna select them all by select one, holding the shift key, select the bottom one, and then I'm gonna hit the M for move to a new collection. And what that's doing is, I'm gonna call it images. It's moving it to a new folder to keep them all organized right there. So I can just cascade it up and hit the white arrow, which means lock it, so I don't accidentally move it. Okay, so now we can go back to work. I'm gonna save this, Command S. In the modeling, I'm gonna call it shuttlecraft, because if I accidentally crash, it's gonna really piss me off. Okay. All right, here we go. What's the shortcut for bringing in all of my 3D objects? Anybody remember? Shift A, always. The very top is under the mesh, is where all of your primitives live. We want which one? Cylinder. Boom, right there. It's huge. Right? But we don't care. Let's rotate that cylinder on the what axis? X, exactly. Watch. R for rotate. Hit the X for the axis. 90 degrees. Hit enter. Done. Now I want to resize this down. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to eye it. Well, I'm not going to eye it. Let's go match our photograph. So let me bring it to the side view. Okay. And let's push it down so it's dead center of the photographic nacelles. And then S key for scale and just like that. Match it. See? Match it like that. That simple. So from here, I'm going to go into edit mode, right? So tab key, go to edit mode for my cylinder. I'm going to select the front face only. Go to my move tool and move it on up.
So why do it that way versus just scaling on the x-axis?
Scaling on the x-axis would.
Okay, you'd still have to realign it. Never mind. I get it.
So you answered your own question.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So go to this side here. Pull it on over like that. That's it. There's your nacelle. All right. So you could, let's see, you could, I want to put the ball on the end. Let's just kind of bring it over to the side here. I wanted to put the ball on the end. Now, I could do it this way. It's probably better to take a sphere, cut it in half, and put it on. I think it's cleaner. It's nicer looking that way.
What would happen if you didn't cut the back of the sphere off, that it was inside of an object? 3D printed wouldn't care. Just print.
Yeah, the 3D printer, the question is, if you had another object embedded inside of an object and you 3D print it, would a 3D printer see it? And the answer is yes, it will see it, and it'll try to print it inside the other object.
You have to make it solid in order for the 3D printer not to see it.
That
Take the two and combine it. That makes sense.
That's right. So when you 3D print, what he's saying is when you 3D print, all your 3D objects have to be airtight. You leaving us?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Thanks.
You're
I
welcome.
got all your info on.
All right.
Newsletter.
All right, great. So, um, so you everything must be airtight. There can be no open faces because the 3D printer won't recognize an open face. So far, what we've got here is all airtight. There are no open faces. Okay. And the same thing for this warp nacelle. If I go to Object View, get out, see, that's all airtight. Nothing's open in there. Look at the body of the ship just to inspect it. See how quickly we created this? It's already it's not perfect, but it's not done yet, but it's already looking like a shuttlecraft. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my life easier because if I'm going to 3D print this, I know that the dome of that needs to be printed in clear. Therefore, I want to print that separately. So we're going to create a separate object for that. We're going to use a sphere. So watch me here. My 3D cursor, here, I'll show you how I would normally do it. If I go to edit mode and grab that front face, that's where I want the sphere to be, right? So what I want to put there first? The 3D cursor. Shift S, 3D cursor, put it there. Now, here's the trick. I went to edit mode to help me align the cursor. You can also bring the sphere in edit mode, but the sphere will not be a separate 3D object. It'll be embedded inside of here, and that's not what you want to do. So make sure you get out of edit mode, go to object mode, which now gives me the ability to make a separate object on its own 3D layer. So here's the body, here's the cylinder, let's call it nacelle. Okay, and I'm going to save it. Now I'm going to go to Shift A, Mesh. I'm going to go to Sphere, and there it is. Now right down here in the bottom left, I have a properties panel. I'm going to open it up, and if I want more resolution, I can. I'm not going to worry about it today. So I'll leave this alone today. And what I want to do is hit the S key and scale it down. So I'm looking at it where I want the front of this to be where the points are joining here on the sphere. So what that means is this. If I go inside of edit mode of the sphere, I want to rotate that sphere 90 degrees on the x-axis. So R, X, 90, see? And what this does is it gives you the ability to span like an antenna or something off here if you so choose. So I'm always strategizing. So there's my piece. Let's match the sides. So S key for scale, match it as best as we can. And I'm just on it. That's good. Now we're going to bring this out. All right, now here's where it gets fun. You want all this to be airtight. So I want to delete this back face of polys. So go to X-ray mode, go to the side view, and I'm going to go grab all of these faces right here. Then I'm going to hit the X key and delete those faces. This is no longer airtight. You got a big, wide, open face there. This will not 3D print. But you want this to be printed separately, and you want it to have thickness, right? Well, watch this. I'm going to go to my Object tab. We're going to add on another modifier. We're going to go to the little blue wrench, add another modifier, and under Generate, we want something called Solidify. Watch this. He's not looking. I'm making, no, you gotta be looking. So hit the period key to zoom in close and watch this. See this thickness slider? I can make it as thick as I want in either direction.
That's cool.
Isn't that cool? And now there's your, now it's airtight. And it's done with a modifier. So if I turn off the modifier, I'm going to hit that little monitor symbol right about there. Off and on, off and on, off. It's completely non-destructive. So now you can print that on one of your other resin printers that's going with clear resin in it. All right, so the tip of the warp nacelle is done. So now notice that the orientation point is back here instead of dead center of our object. I can replace it. Right click on the object, set origin, origin to geometry. Boom, there it is. It set it there. So if I go to my side view, go ahead and just put it on like that. Isn't that cool?
And it's still a separate object.
Yeah, it's still separate right here. Matter of fact, we can call this, it says sphere. We'll call this one, this is called Bassards?
Yeah, sorry.
Bassards, okay. There it is, all separate. And the reason we're doing it separate is because each of these will be printed separately as a 3D printed piece.
Gotcha.
So right now, if you printed that, would the body be a solid block?
Yes.
You haven't done anything to it?
Yes, it will. But you don't want that, right? Because you're going to want to model the chairs and the boards inside. Let's go do it.
Well, you don't want to use a gallon of resin to print one sheet.
That's right.
That was a more
But
immediate concern.
but yeah, but for you guys, you want detail in there, right? We can do it. We can do it. In fact, let's see. Well, I guess I can show you how to do it. How much time do we have?
I think we're at 2 now.
Oh, we're at time now. We got 1 minute left. Oh, that was fast. Okay, I'll show you real quick how to do this real fast. Go to the body. I'm going to go to edit mode. Now watch. I'm going to grab that edge right at the top. No, I want the edge. Edge editing mode. At the top, right about there. See, that separates my top, right? If I hit, I think it's the V key. V key on the keyboard, it separates the edge. Right click to set it back. Now watch. Let my mouse hover over the top section, hit the L key, and it selects that entire piece. Hit the P key to take it out of the body object to make it its own selection. Boom.
That's neat.
Oh, we want thickness because it's not airtight. Here, add modifier, generate, solidify. Get in close. And let's see. And then I'm going to tell this to be even thickness all the way around. There. There it is. There's your airtight top that you would 3D print separately. It's completely open. You can start bringing in your chairs, your control panels, another panel for the back, to separate the back area for storage, all that stuff.
So you just made your solid a shell.
I just made my solid a shell.
Bottom's not printable now.
Right, yeah.
Oh yeah, we can solidify the bottom, right? The bottom's the least of my worries.
How do you solidify the bottom without making a gap inside the wings?
No, you don't. But there's a way to do it. So let's see. Here. Select the top, hit the H key for hide. That hides it. Get it out of the way visually. If I want to unhide it, it's Alt H to unhide. Hide it there. Okay. Let's get in close.
Can you select just the faces and then inside the belt.
You know, it may be forgiving enough that I can do it without it affecting the wings. So let's find out. Let's see how forgiving it is. So I'll come over here. I'll come over to generate, solidify. There we go. Okay. It's now has thickness. Let's add a little more thickness to it. Holding the shift key gives me minute adjustments. See, like to there, right about to there. There it is. It did it. It worked. And if you look at the wings, didn't affect them because I did minute thickness.
We
But
go to X-ray mode, can we see if it had a geometry inside the wings?
it did right there. See? See?
So it did create a void in the wings that it.
But I did it so it didn't go past the outer edge.
So if you tried to make the lower edge too thick, you would have started to see.
That's right. You start to see another little overlap in there. But I know from experience, don't go that far.
Just has to be able to support the weight.
That's right. So if we go back, you've got yourself a piece now that you can 3D print. All you got to do now is put your, like I said, your control panel and your chairs and flooring and whatever you want. And you can resin print that and get all the detail you want in there and sell it. Isn't that cool?
That's awesome. Half an hour.
In half an hour.
About an hour.
Half an hour. I got
Before it
the
takes an hour, the detail takes 10 hours.
yeah, the detail takes a lot more time. But this is the way to work. When you start working, no detail. You want super stupid looking shapes. And then you'll put the details in after the fact. You'll start refining it afterwards.
So on your class that you are talking about coming up,
Yep.
so we did an inorganic shape here. You
Sure.
cover organics in that class.
Yes. Yes. The organics we'll be covering later in the class because the class, most people taking the class don't know Blender. You guys got to get Blender down. So we'll be covering all the basics and all the important modeling techniques. I will be offering a second 3D modeling class, which is going to go into sculpting characters and organic shapes and stuff like that. Blender has a fabulous sculpting tools.
Where do we go for those classes?
Okay, the sign-up sheet's right there.
Oh, okay.
So sign up right now. So don't leave without me giving you a name, your email address, and so I will send you. Now I will give you a 20% discount code. It's Wonderfest 2024, and it'll bring it down like $360 or something like that. And it's a 5-week class. Every class is recorded, and I will be sending you home with homework. He's taken my classes before, and you're gonna love it. Okay, and we will be going over what I think are some great printers to be using, resin and filament as well. So yeah, so go ahead and sign up, and I will get that to you today. Thank you for coming. Thank you. All right. All right. And I've recorded this, so I will